The death of a student leader in police custody in the state of West Bengal has kicked up a massive political storm. The left is alleging that Mamata Banerjee will now cover up this custodial death of a 22-year-old student leader, Sudipto Gupto. The post-mortem of the deceased SFI leader is expected later in the day. Hospital authorities who treated him say that he was rushed there later, and had he been brought in earlier, perhaps there could have been better medical attention which was given to him. He died of severe head injuries. Sudipto's father now demands justice.
আমরা কিন্তু শান্তি চাই, আমরা রক্ত চাই না। আমি চাইছি তার সঠিকভাবে যেন শাস্তি হোক।
Now, an FIR has been filed against the cops. The FIR also mentions a delay in taking this injured student leader to hospital, the fact that he lost crucial time in receiving timely treatment as well. The cops on their part, they've also filed a counter FIR against the attack on police personnel present on duty. Now, the politicking, of course, also beginning. The left is protesting what it terms to be a custodial death. A funeral procession is also slated for later in the afternoon, and the Sudipto's cremation takes place after that. A 12-hour general strike has also been called by the left to be held on Thursday.
Personally disturbed by the death of this young student leader. Look, it is not my attempt to try and score brownie points against the Trinamool Congress government in West Bengal. I think there is a sensitivity to the issue. There is a certain humanitarian element. A 22-year-old young boy who had aspirations of being in public life has lost his life. Our heart goes out to his family.
The criminals in the state, they have got this loud and clear signal that it is their government which is at the writers' building. As a result of this has happened.
Once again, the brutality of police under the Mamata Raj has been occurred. The people of India are watching very carefully how the Mamata Raj is now in the hands of the police. She has allowed the police to use all its force, keeping aside all the human rights. Earlier, she allowed her party activists to do whatever they like at one hand, and she has allowed the police to use all sorts of excesses against the people.
के साथ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन नहीं चल सकता है, अपोजिशन तो चल सकती है.
We demand judicial inquiry first and an independent inquiry. Why Sudipto Gupto, why Comrade Sudipto Gupto has been killed, has been beaten up in the police custody. हम लोग का यहाँ पे जो राज्य सरकार है वो अभी तक कोई हम लोग के साथ बातचीत नहीं किए, और पुलिस के साथ जहां तक बात हुई, पुलिस ने हम लोग का रिटन कंप्लेंट तो ले लिया, लेकिन कुछ बताया नहीं कि इस इंक्वायरी का क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा.
Now, even though Kolkata police maintains that SFI leader Sudipto Gupto's death was an accident, eyewitnesses claim that he succumbed to injuries sustained by police's baton charge. Other student protesters present at the time of the incident blame Mamata Banerjee, the chief minister, who is also the home minister of West Bengal, for the SFI leader's death.
Democracy has been snatched. Democracy has been taken away. The campuses are free markets for anti-socials like Munna Bhai, for anti-social like Arabul Islam. Students don't have a place. Students are on the road protesting this demonic rule.
That this was done by Mamata Banerjee, because if she wouldn't have given them the instruction, then this massacre wouldn't have happened today in the soil of West Bengal.
Well, breaking developments coming through on this story as well. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee speaking out on the issue for the first time after the death of the SFI leader Sudipto Gupto in police custody yesterday. The Chief Minister visiting the SKM hospital in Kolkata as well, where Sudipto succumbed to his injuries. Now, Mamata was faced with slogan shouting when she reached the spot. The Chief Minister skirting the question though over the left's demand for a judicial probe into the death, saying that any death is unfortunate and the law will take its own course. Alright, so the Chief Minister of the state also taking cognizance of developments and the widespread protests that have spilled out onto the streets of Kolkata as well, and threatening, of course, to engulf the entire state of West Bengal. Remember, student unions led by SFI have given a call for statewide strikes as well and conventions to be held. Hence says Manogya Loiwal has been tracking developments. Now joins us for a live input as well. Manogya, just fill us in with what's really happening. We understand the Chief Minister visited the hospital, also in fact the police station in question, to take stock of developments, despite not making a clear-cut announcement, any kind of remedial measures that her government plans to make.
Well, absolutely. There was no announcement that was made, but there were assurances that were given by the Chief Minister when she arrived here. She arrived just a few meters away. She entered the hospital premises. She came up to the morgue, but she did not enter this place, this area where there had been a lot of supporters of the SFI standing. When she heard the slogans, she just turned back and she walked away. She said that she had come to meet the family members, but she didn't do anything of that sort. What is interestingly different from what could have happened is that she could have met the family members, but that didn't happen. She just walked away stating that she will investigate. Whether she'll order a probe into it or not, but she said that the law will take its own course, and also has ordered, stating that any death is unfortunate, and perhaps these were statements for the first time coming from anyone from the ruling front, including the Home Minister, which is also the Chief Minister of the state, Mamata Banerjee. But what is more interesting and different from any other kind of incident that we've seen in Bengal is that she went to the police headquarters, that is in Lal Bazar, and she met the officers. She also tried to prize herself on what has been happening about the case, and then finally is taking the matter forward. 2 people have been arrested, the accomplice of the driver and the driver who was driving the bus, in which Sudipto was taken to the presidency jail.
And almost a detached comment, Manogya, coming forth from the Chief Minister, saying that any death is unfortunate, the law will take its own course. The fact of the matter is, now her government, her state is faced with large-scale protests as well, conventions and rallies, strikes that are planned by the student unions. She recognizes this fact. But any word yet about a judicial probe that is being demanded by the students' unions and the left parties?
Well, even as we talk, the body is being taken out from the morgue here in Kolkata, and it will be taken out and will be taken to the residence of Sudipto, and perhaps from there it will be taken forward. And what remains to be seen is that there is expected to be a huge mammoth rally here in Kolkata today, where the streets will come to a choco-block situation here, and also the fact that hundreds and thousands of SFI supporters are expected to gather in the rally and also express their solidarity and condolence in this matter, where they've lost one of their supporters, one of their leaders here in Kolkata. But what is more important is that during the day you would see that this procession will first go to his residence, and from there it will be taken to the SFI office and also to the college, and from there it will be finally taken to the morgue, to the crematorium for the final rituals. But this movement is expected to continue tomorrow and day after also, because the movement has just begun. That's what the SFI leaders have been telling us, that they've lost a leader, but his death will not go waste.
Alright, so his death will not go in vain. Live pictures also coming to you from right outside our hospital, where the body is being brought out. Will be heading, remember, for the last rites as well. Manogya, just stay on for a moment. I have to talk to you about well, in fact, the post-mortem also, what we, if we picked up any word about that. We're also joined at this stage by Dev Smita, an eyewitness, a fellow student leader who was very much part of these protests when Sudipto Gupto was lathi charged. I want to know from you, Dev Smita, what happened? What were the sequence of events as you witnessed them?
The thing hit us more when we reached Presidency Jail. The moment we reached Presidency Jail, there were 3 to 4 police officers inside the bus. Okay, so they started lathi charge. They didn't beat the girls, but yes, the boys were beaten up. They were lathi charge, and among the boys who were beaten up, Sudipto Gupto was one of them, and Sudipto was beaten. It was a very sad situation there. We were protesting. There were girls who were protesting. There were boys who were protesting. There was one boy who was protesting with Sudipto. Said like, why are you people beating us when we are in your custody? We are like, now we are accused people, right? When we are under police custody, it's the duty and the responsibility of the police to take us safely to Presidency Jail. But the situation wasn't like that. They were beating us. I don't know why they were beating us, but probably this was the decision which was taken by the higher authority or the Mamata Banerjee government.
Manogya, the other aspect to have happened is something which is registered in the FIR as well, that there was a long delay in taking, Sudipto to hospital, giving him, adequate medical attention. You think that there's any word that you've been able to pick up, in fact, from that post-mortem report?
There's a legal battle that has already begun. An FIR was filed initially by SFI, and then again an FIR was filed by the police officials also stating that the home guard was attacked on duty and he was perhaps misbehaved with and he was not allowed to do his duty. Well, the legal battle as it continues under the administrative affairs, but what is more important is that the FIR had all the stated points that the body that Sudipto was initially beaten up, and when he was in police custody, when he was in the police van, it was then when he was being taken to the presidency jail, where he hit the lamppost, and police officials, the personnel there on duty, did not, instead of taking him to the hospital, beat him even more, and that beating is what led to his death, because he had severe head injuries, and after which there was a delay in his being taken to the hospital, and perhaps that was the crucial moment when, had he been treated earlier, his life could have been saved.
All right, Manoj, just stay on for a moment. Plenty of reactions also coming forth. In fact, the father of Sudipto Gupta demanding justice as well. Very sad time, understandably, for the family. Traumatic, tragic time. But, these reactions coming forth, the demand for justice as well. Listen in to Sudipto Gupta's father.
আমরা কিন্তু শান্তি চাই, আমরা রক্ত চাই না। আমি চাইছি তার সঠিকভাবে যেন শাস্তি হোক।
We got Devsmita, an eyewitness who saw all this happen. Manogya Lohiwal also tracking the very latest with us. Manogya, having heard the father as well, the family is saying that we're not demanding bloodshed. We just want justice for what happened, and that's the thing, that at the end of the day, this also takes away from that old tradition that one saw in West Bengal ever so often, that of student activism, of protesting against things in causes that they believed in, but a strong message perhaps being sent across. That's the criticism of the West Bengal government, that it's dictatorial in the way it functions and it has to be their way or nothing else.
Absolutely, it is not only the criticism of the West Bengal government, but also Mamata Banerjee, who has been a very active student leader in her heydays, and she has been one of the leaders who's led several movements during her Congress regime, when she was with Congress during that time, during her earlier days, and when she was a student activist. Even during with Trinamool Congress, she's been known for her movements. But this time, when we've seen that when action was required, the delay was more than expected. There was no word from the state government, and perhaps what irked the SFI supporters and other people who were there in the movement even more was that during the while when Kolkata was burning, where there were so many protests across the city, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee was watching an IPL match in Salt Lake Stadium, and perhaps that's the reason why there was so much of resentment. Had it been not that, the situation would have been different, and the response to this case would have been different. But this time again, with the given the fact that there has been so much of furor over the death, you could not expect it to settle down in the next few days.
All right, Manoj, just stay on for a moment. Let's also get you that reaction from Mamata Banerjee. Didn't divulge much. It was almost a detached reaction from her, saying that any death is unfortunate. Listen in to Mamata Banerjee.
দেখুন, কর্মী কেউ অন্য পার্টিও হতে পারে, কিন্তু আমার সিম্প্যাথি সবার জন্যই আছে। মানুষ মানুষ, এবং আমি সেই জন্য সমবেদনা জানাতে এসেছি, এবং ওদের পরিবারের যদি কোনো প্রয়োজন থাকে আমি নিশ্চয়ই দেখবো। আমি তো বলে গেছি, যেটা সবচেয়ে বড় কথা, আমার পাড়ার ছেলে, যেহেতু বাড়িতে কেউ নেই, ছেলে মারা গেছে, ওদিকে বিয়ে হয়ে গেছে, মা মারা গেছে, বাবা আছে, যদি আমার দ্বারা কোনো প্রয়োজন আমায় যা বলবেন সেটাই করবেন।
বিচার বিভাগীয় তদন্তের দাবি করেছে বিমান বসু, বিচার বিভাগীয় তদন্তের দাবি করেছেন বিমান বসু, কালকে বলেছেন এ ব্যাপার নিয়ে কিছু বলবেন?
দেখুন, আমি মনে করি যে দুর্ভাগ্যজনক যে কোনো মৃত্যু, এবং এটাও দুর্ভাগ্যজনক, এর থেকে বেশি আমি একটি কথা বলবো।
Well, I want to cut across now to Devsmita as well, the eyewitness who saw all this happen. The other point that even Manogya raised, Devsmita, was the fact that medical attention was delayed. I want to ask you, and what you really saw then. Did you, your fellow supporters and protesters, ask for help, urge the cops to get doctors in, having just seen what had happened?
Yes, absolutely. There were two empty police vans which were like going out of the jail. So we actually had to plea in front of them, like, Dada, see the condition of this poor guy. He has been bitten. So please do. And even the police people could see he was bleeding from his ears. He was bleeding from his nose. His condition was really poor. And the police people were highly ignorant. There was one when we just went under our nose without even paying any attention to us. So ultimately we had to cry, and after a delay of around 45 minutes, 1 hour, we got entry to the hospital.
All right, at this stage, just certainly pleading the fact that there was ignorance and negligence on the part of the police as well. Dave Smith, an eyewitness of what happened. Thanks very much for joining us. A big thanks also to Manogya Loiwal for bringing us up to speed with developments. An emotive political issue which has become a big headache, certainly for the Mamata Banerjee government as well. The Chief Minister's reaction so far of damage control hasn't seemed to have cut much ice at this stage.